Okay, back again guys. Wait, that's better. Back again guys, I'm here in the loft, carrying on with our loft insulation. Another DIY project. Got home from work at 6. Literally just went straight out into the garden, got my tools and started measuring and cutting some more of this PIR insulation board. PIR. Can't even remember what it means, but it's this foil back stuff which is really expensive per square meter, and it's meant to be really good, better than the you know, that wool, that material, what's it normally made from? Fiberglass, I think. It's meant to be better than that because it's reflective. So I'm on the other side of our loft, cutting and fitting them between the joists over our second and third bedroom. I've done the first and fourth bedroom, and now we're in the second and the third. So I'm hoping that by the time we've finished all of this, it would have improved the overall insulation in order to help to keep our house warm. These two rooms are the girls' bedrooms, and so we really want to make them warmer, especially as they're at the end of the terrace. And so I figured I'll do a couple of these joists each evening to try and see if I can get this complete in a week, because on Sundays I'm normally quite busy, so there's hardly any time. However, I am fairly optimistic because this side of the loft is in a much better condition. I'll show you in a minute. It's actually a lot cleaner. The joists are plumb, even though they're not 100% symmetrical, so they're all over the place in terms of different width. However, they look a lot better, so I'm really grateful for that. There's not a lot of space. I have to be crouched down because our loft isn't very high, but I'm hoping that I can get these between the joists, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. So here goes. So these are the old fiberglass insulation, which it seems like it was 100mm. What I'm doing, I'm pulling that up, and then I'm putting down the new 100mm foam insulation board. And I've just started, literally just done this section, and I've had to cut them in the garden and bring them up through the loft hatch because it isn't very big, just over there. And then while I'm up here, I then got to cut to actually fit into each one of these joists. So I take the widest cut, so 40 centimeter, and then when I get up here, one end might be 40 and then might be 38 down this end, so I then have to cut it. So it's a real pain. But as they say, nothing good comes easy, guys, and I'm hoping that it will be a big improvement. I have checked out to see how much the external wall insulation will be, and the quote that I got from the company, have a guess how much you think it cost. Give you a few seconds. Are you guys ready? So they're charging £15,000 to insulate the outside of the house, which is money that we haven't got. So for now, we're just getting on with what we can afford, what we can do. We've spent around £500 for the boards, insulation boards, which was a good price, to be honest, compared to what it could be. Plus I've bought a few bits and pieces to help me with the job. So all in all, maybe around $650 we've spent so far. So I'm just gonna crack on for the evening. So I've just moved this old unit because I'm gonna get rid of it because it serves no purpose here in the loft. I'm gonna have to find some way to break this apart and take it down the ladder and off to the tip. So my idea is to try and work my way from that side somehow. So just from that corner over there, I'm gonna have to lift this floorboard. Unfortunately, these are massive sheets of MDF boards, which are super heavy in this tight space. I've moved a couple over there already, so I have to try and lift them and then when I'm done, put them back in place. That's the plan anyway. Man, this is hard work. It's a real shame that we haven't got the headroom in our loft, because it's quite a large loft, as you can see. It's like more than a double bedroom could have been built in this space, but that's the way the cookie crumble. Let me crack on. Okay, so I've just lifted up this massive sheet. I've just sort of put it on its side so that I can carry on getting the boards in between the joists, but inevitably we run into one of my least favorite things, where the joists actually meet. Obviously they haven't used one continuous stretch of wood going across, so they've got to meet in the middle, so which means that the size is going to change in this section before getting wider on that side probably. Fun and games. So not going to look at the bigger picture, I'm just going to take my time and do one bit at a time, just like I did on the other side, and I know that I'll get there in the end. What a pain. I'm going to have to come back through and fill all these gaps with some of the foam which we've got. But yeah, that's me done for the evening, I think. Not a bad go. Plenty more evenings to go. Hey guys, so I'm back again. Today I'm hoping to finish the loft insulation, because I've been really pushing, working really hard to try and get it done. I've done half of the loft, the slightly smaller half I would say, because this side encompasses the passageway on the landing as well as the 2 bedrooms, and so yeah, it's a lot more to do. So I've done maybe around, I don't know, 65%, so I've got to finish it up today because I've got so much to do this weekend. There's always some form of project or something to do, and so today I'm hoping to just blitz this. I'm starting quite early. The girls have been dropped at school by Sophia, and so I'm literally just gonna crack on now. The dust is really atrocious to deal with. I think this is one of the most challenging things, especially in a enclosed area like this, but I'm hoping that by the time this is all done, it will have made a much better insulated you know, house. Now I know that this is a really old house, guys, and this might not go far enough to make it feel all warm and toasty. However, if it means that spending this, I don't know, £600, whatever I'm in at the moment, like I said, this hopefully will go a long way in reflecting some of that heat. We're just starting to put our central heating on now, and as I've showed you before, we've only got 100mm, which has been compacted to around 70mm of that, I always forget what this thing is made of, fiberglass insulator, you know, that wool looking stuff, horrible, itchy, just gross. We had like around 100mm of that's been compacted into the loft space, so we're replacing that with 100mm of this high performance PIR board. I think this is a Corex brand, and that's what I've been installing between the joists, the very wonky, out of sync, not plumb, just all over the place joists, but I'm doing my best. Then I'm going to put a few pieces of timber battens on top of the original joists because they're not very deep, typical. Most joists are over 100mm in depth, but these are under 100mm in depth. This has not been easy, guys, honestly. This is what a joist typically looked like. This is what they normally look like. So this going across here has been put in retrospectively as some form of support. And oftentimes this is the depth of joist, so maybe a little bit shallower than this. But unfortunately, the joist that we're working with is around this depth, so less than 100 mil. So you can see why the insulation was compacted, because boards were put on top and it squashed the insulation that was there before down to under 100 mil. As you can see here, I've put in some of this insulation, and they've managed, some of them have managed to stay almost flush, but they're still protruding a bit. So, you know, if I put boards on here now, they'll be sitting on the insulation and not on the actual wooden joist. So what I've been doing is getting a bit of timber. So what I've been doing, guys, with these 2x4s is putting them in the middle, as you can see here. So then when I put the board on top, there'll be an air gap above our foam insulation, and hopefully you know, that'll be that. So that's what I've been doing. I've laid out the insulation on this section. I've yet to put these piece of battens as spacers for our MDF board to sit on, but that's what I'm going to be doing shortly. But my main focus right now is getting them filled with the foam. Okay, so this is it, guys. It's been a couple of weeks now. Please don't mind the mess. We're currently in the process of bagging up all of our summer stuff, as we're well and truly practically in winter at the moment, and we're trying to get all the, you know, additional bedding and all the stuff that we have when our friends and family come to stay. So we need to organize all of this. We've moved a lot of it back from over that section, so we can now move about. And yeah, safe to say that the project has gone really well with the loft insulation. Just give you an idea of what it's like. I've managed to actually fill most, if not all, of the gaps with some of this spray insulation foam which we use, which has been really good. And as I just opened the loft and come upstairs, you can feel the difference. I mean, it's got a real icy cold feel up here. You can sort of feel the wind blowing through the rafters, which is pretty normal in a roof. That's what it's for. It's breathing, which is great, no damp or anything like that. But when we're in the house downstairs, it's so much warmer, as we've actually got the central heating on at the moment. But yeah, I just wanted to come up and show you guys. I didn't get a chance to film as I finished it off, but I was able to get all of the foam insulation put underneath you know, these boards. I must say that we had to raise the loft a little bit to accommodate the extra height for the insulation. So I've put these battens down here, which the boards are sitting on top of, just to make sure that there's a gap at the top. I don't know if you can see that very clearly, but we wanted to make sure we had a gap at the top here where we can actually have air circulation under the boards. So yeah, so far so good. Now the big question is whether or not this has been successful, and if I'm being completely honest, it's still too early to tell. However, maybe it's psychological, but both Sophia and I do feel that the house does get warmer. Now, is the house still cold? Absolutely. This old house has no insulation in the upright walls. They get absolutely freezing cold. So when we put the central heating on, it takes a while to warm up the brickwork, and we're still losing a lot of heat through the walls. However, our loft, I do feel as if when we do put the heating on, we lose the heat a lot slower, if you know what I mean, coming up, escaping through the roof, which has traditionally been a bit of an issue, where we put the heating on and the minute we turn it off, it feels like all of the heat is just dissipated. And so yeah, we're really happy with how it's turned out so far. And the best thing about it is that it didn't cost us a huge amount of money. All I did was buy the insulation for £500, plus a few more bits and pieces. All in all, probably spent around 600, 650 at the maximum, to basically get some of that old insulation up and actually put down something that is meant to be more superior. Like I said, so far so good. I mean, minus the mess, we definitely need to pack these bags away and organize. I'm actually thinking about putting a cupboard, sort of like in that section where we can stack all of these things, but I wanted to make sure we got the flooring down first, and now I've got to figure out building some form of storage unit that end, just to clear this space. The loft isn't used for anything else apart from storage because the roof isn't particularly high, and so you know, we don't really mind the aesthetics of it. We just want to make sure everything's accessible. We do you know, bag up a lot of the kids' clothes, jackets and stuff when it's summertime, and then we swap them around, bed linen and so on, when it's winter time, you know, the normal stuff. And so that's all that the loft is used for. Anyway, it's freezing up here, so I'm gonna head down back, and yeah, just thought I'd show you guys that I did manage to put everything back to how it was, and the house is feeling warmer, which is great. But you know, how much more energy efficient it is, obviously I haven't got numbers, I wouldn't be able to tell you guys, but yeah, I'm really happy with the fact that I managed to tackle this project by myself. So if I was getting somebody else to do this project, it would have cost us several thousands of pounds because a lot of physical labor was involved. And this is what I love about doing projects yourself, because you know that you're doing it for yourself, you can push and go the extra mile. And the money that you'll save, honestly, we've just had a new roof done, for better or worse. The leak has stopped, it hasn't come back, which is fantastic. And so we're really happy with that. And so we didn't have an extra 3 grand to splash out and paying someone to insulate our loft. And so, you know, spending £600 to do it ourselves was just absolutely amazing. And so another DIY project done. We're probably going to have a little rest over the winter because, you know, everything kind of grinds to a halt. There's been no action in the garden because, again, we've been getting so much frost. It's been so cold. Central heating's coming on. We're pretty much in hibernation mode at the moment, guys, but thought I'd just bring you this update. And yeah, if you're thinking about insulating your loft, guys, definitely give it a go. Perhaps do it in the spring when it's not as cold. The transition between spring going into summer will probably be the best time, where it's not too hot, it's not too cold, or potentially summer going into autumn like we did, again when it's not too hot or too cold, because you don't want to be up here when it's scorching hot. That is a definite no-no. But in the same time, you don't want to do it when it's freezing cold up here like it is getting to be now. So hopefully these videos have been beneficial to you if you're thinking about this project. Like I said, just give it a go, guys, and hopefully you'll reap the benefits. As always, this is Kenroy, heading back down my ladder now. Look after yourselves, guys, and I'll see you when you see me. Take care and God bless.